Excellent. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so here are the takeaways from the day's class. By the end of this training, you would understand the legal requirements of a 501c3, the board roles, responsibility, and legal duties. So strategic planning, fundamental, essential government structure, financial control, human resource, and how to assess organization capacity. So let's start off with what is a 501c3? Well, a 501c3 is a federal tax exempt organization. And what are the requirements? Well, you must be organized exclusively for exempt purpose. You operate exclusively for exempt purpose. I did that twice. No private money should be going to board members. You cannot lobby and become a substantial part of your activities. And participants in political campaign for or against candidates. Let's say, for example, you had a candidate that you really, really like that's running for county commission.
Yeah.
Well, you cannot endorse that person or anything of that nature, anything related to politics.
Wait a minute, back. Okay, let me get because I know somebody's going running, and I cannot endorse anyone.
Not for political office, no. See, as a 501c public entity, you're supposed to be neutral when it comes to politics. Now,
No.
you can as a private individual, but not as an organization.
Wait a minute. Okay. Let me ask you a question. Because in 2 weeks, you say I'm nationally accredited, and we going because our platform we're going to be in cohort 6, and our platform is to change where we have to go in front of politicians. Our platform is to change to get health insurance and retirement for the state of Florida for the child care providers. So is that one of the things I can't do that?
You can do that because you're not endorsing a person. You're just talking about policies, important policies that affect
Okay.
your industry. So, yeah, you
Okay.
can do that.
Okay.
You
Well,
just
let
can't
me ask.
endorse that purpose.
Okay. So, oh, Lord of mercy. So someone is running for District 6. Jackie Leaks is running for District 6, and she have her thing in my driveway, in my yard, and that's endorsing
Uh,
someone.
well, you can have it, but make sure you don't endorse her. You're just providing a platform for her to have a conversation. But you don't want to do is endorse her as an organization. When you do that event, do it as you the person, not as your nonprofit. As long as you don't do it as your nonprofit,
Just don't
is
get the
you
nonprofit
good to go.
involved. So I can do it as an individual,
Exactly.
but just don't mention the nonprofit.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly. Yeah, because you could lose your tax exempt status if you were to say, hey, my organization supports this particular candidate.
okay.
But you can do it as an individual, though, as long as your organization is not endorsing.
Because right now, okay, this grant that I'm doing is for Future Heroes Academy, and this, we're still working out the paperwork downtown, and they're doing all this drawing and stuff. But right now, I'm at Naomi's Family Child Care Home, so that's an individual, so I can endorse it as Naomi Family Child Care Home, but not as um the 501c3, the
Exactly.
okay, Future Hero.
Bingo. Exactly.
So Naomi's Family, and okay, okay. Well, some fine
Hey,
lines. Okay.
this class is we're just getting started, and this class is paying off already, right? Yeah,
It's
definitely you
been,
don't. More
you know.
essentially, you do not want to endorse any particular candidate. Like
Okay.
I endorse a candidate, but I don't endorse him as the Center for Nonprofit. I endorse him as Michael Randolph, the individual.
Because it was Diane Hart. Is it Diane Hart? I see her online, and she so just ask you this real
Yeah,
quick.
Diane is turned out. She won't be running back again
So
for
Jackie Leaks is
this.
taking her place. Is that what it is?
Well, yeah, she's running against. I think Robert Lockett is one
So
candidate, and
she's
there's
taking.
another
So they're
candidate.
running against Diane Hart's because she's District Six
Yes,
63. Oh, I just
yes,
want to get. Okay, I thought so. Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Okay. Now, what are the benefits of a nonprofit? Probably the most important thing, tax exempt status. You don't pay taxes as a nonprofit.
Okay.
Donors can deduct contribution,
What does that
but
mean?
here's the thing. They can only deduct if it's 250 or more. If they gave you like $10, $15, they can't deduct that. It has to be a minimum of $250.
You mean an organization can give me $250 and they can deduct that? I don't understand that.
Yes, they can. Well, normally individual give money to your organization, but if
Uh-huh.
an organization should do it, and if it's a nonprofit, it's a moot question because nonprofits are tax deductible, so they don't pay taxes anyway. But if a private individual was to donate, let's say, for example, we believe in you. Here, take this donation of $250. They can deduct that, but they cannot deduct if it's less than $250.
50. Okay.
And then the
Um,
next is grant eligibility. It makes you eligible for going after grants as a 501c3.
and can I ask you a question? And I'm going to have a lot
Yeah,
of questions.
please.
I seem like I should have print this out so I can write note on it as I go to kind of because I can't write. You understand? Because you're saying this and you're telling me the what it means. But it'd be nice if I print it out and just write beside each tax exempt donators and
Well, you're going to be able to do that because after this right here, when we send the recording to you, not only are you going to get the recording, but everything as if it's
okay,
taking
the
notes
recording.
on us.
Okay.
So you're going to get the notes as well.
Okay. Okay. Okay, good.
I got you covered. Okay, now let's go to the next. Vision versus mission. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you have both a vision and a mission statement already?
Yes. Yes, it's on my
Good,
website. Uh-huh.
good. So, one of the things we want to do when we get into this section of vision and
Oh, you
mission,
know what? Back up a little, back up, because we're dealing with two different things. I have Future Heroes Academy, which is the daycare, and then I have what you can be. What is the 501c3? So I don't think I have a mission, and unless it's on the it's not. I think I have it on the paperwork
yeah,
itself.
yeah, you definitely want to have a vision
Okay,
and
I need to
mission.
go
And
back
one of
and
the
look at
things,
that. Okay,
yeah, well, that's going to be one of your homework assignments. Send me your mission and your
okay,
vision statement
okay,
so we can look at it and see if it needs to be changed or
okay,
if it's good as it
okay.
is. So the question is, what is a vision statement? Well, a
Well,
vision statement,
okay. Go ahead.
yeah, a vision statement creates your vision. That's what it does. The vision creates your desire for the future. So, what are some of the characteristics of a mission statement? It should be inspirational. It should reflect your core values. It should be. It should set proactive direction. Your vision should be anywhere from 5 to 10 years. Every
Okay.
5 to 10 years, you want to change it because you want to meet the times as they are today. Most importantly, your vision statement should picture the world as you see it when your nonprofit is done with its work. For example, no child left behind,
Mm-hmm.
example like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, moving on. Now, let's talk about your mission statement. Your mission statement is your plan of action. Let's talk about the characteristics. First, it should be short and concise, and no more than 1 to 3 sentences. It should state what you do, who you serve, and how you serve them. People. It should be measurable and it should be actionable as well. And it should give God's God's decision and it should be memorable as well. All of these things should be part of your mission statement. That's why I want to look at your mission and your vision statement so we can take it, build it up, and then put it back out there again. Now, what are the roles and responsibility of the board of directors? Well, the board of directors is the governing authority legally responsible for physical integrity, programmatic integrity, and organizational oversight. Key relationship. The board equals governance, direction, and policy oversight. Staff. Staff is management, implementation. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jump over there. Of operation, and then the CEO. Now, you are the CEO for your nonprofit. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. Now stop me at any point that you don't understand something or if you need clarification. Again, this whole video that we're doing now is being taped. So you'll be able to take it piece by piece. In addition,
Okay.
I'm gonna send you a summary of everything we talked about.
Okay.
Okay. So let's talk about the 7 core responsibility of a board of directors. Well, first, setting policies. The board of directors is responsible for rules and framework, strategic planning, hiring the CEO, advocacy, fundraising, physical/legal oversight, and then board recruitment. Now, how does your board recruit? Or you're not doing anything in terms of recruitment right now?
I mean, we just setting it up. I have not gotten the letter yet from
Okay,
Tallahassee. We just setting up. Um,
but how about your other nonprofit? Don't you have another nonprofit?
no, that was dissolved. No.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay, well, good.
So this
Well,
is
not
it.
good,
So
but
so we're waiting for Tallahassee and then um
okay, gotcha. Okay, now let's start to talk about responsibilities. First, policy governance. The board should establish organization rules and guidelines, approve all major policies, review policies annually. I mean, every year you should look at your policies and make, are we outdated? Do we need to change? Or is it okay? And most importantly, you should ensure that you're legal compliance. That is conflict of interest, financial management, personnel policy, and program standards. The other role of the board is strategic planning. The board should define long-term direction, setting directional priority, resource allocation, and measuring measurable success and creating accountability. Any questions?
oh, you going far as much as you say, I'm have to really sit down and digest all this. See what
Yeah,
my role
don't even try to digest all this because guess what? When I send you the video, you're going to have a chance to take it piece by piece. Okay, let's continue. Now, the other board responsibility, and you know this as a current, as a prior nonprofit leader. The board also hires the CEO. The board uh, decides. The board hires the CEO, and then the critical function of a board is to develop a clear
So
job
okay,
description.
okay, wait. So I am the director and I hire a CEO.
Yeah, you're the CEO.
I am the CEO. Well, who is the
Yeah, you're the.
director or the board of the okay.
Now, as a CEO, you're also going to have directors as your organization builds
Okay.
that go oversee particular programs. But you are the CEO, the head of the organization. Everything falls on you if anything ever happens. So technically, the board should develop a clear job description for the CEO, conduct a thorough search, negotiate employment terms, put together annual performance evaluation, professional development support, and difficult personal decisions when needed.
Now let me ask you,
Again,
are these paid position or unpaid?
the CEO is a paid position.
The CEO of a nonprofit is a paid position?
Yeah, I'm the CEO of my nonprofit. How can I do what I do if I'm not getting paid? I can't do it for free.
But how, and you have board, but the board don't get, beside the board feel that the CEO is getting paid and they're not getting paid.
Well, they don't because my board is like I have a board of direction of 3 members.
How many members?
So three, this three, right?
And you make four.
And my board members are basically friends of mine. So pretty much, everything, anything I need or want, they follow in line. That's why you want to be insured. Make sure you got the right board of directors, and nobody's gonna try to deceive you as a CEO.
I'm sorry, make sure I have one.
You have board of directors that's loyal to you
Okay.
and not gonna try to, cause you to lose your job.
So Michael, you're the CEO, you have three people, you have two under you.
I have two. Well, it's not under me. They are on the board of directors.
They're on
They
the
are
board. So
the directors.
so you only have three. So you want to make it too big. So it'd be, okay, just three. Okay.
Yes, yes. I'm the CEO who's the board members, and then I have two other friends that are on the board of directors
Okay.
to make a total of three.
Okay.
Okay, let's continue. Now, let's talk more about the board responsibility. First, board members should be community ambassadors. As board members, they serve as organizational spokesperson. Your board members should be sharing what y'all do and trying to recruit people to give funds to you. Community relationship building relationship, policy advocacy, event representative, and network connectors. Now, all this stuff that we're talking about today is normally when you have a functional board that's been around for about a year.
Okay.
Yeah, this stuff right here doesn't apply immediately to you. But you should always know this because as you begin to write grants for other organizations, you want to make sure they have all of this in play before
So,
you even think about writing that grant for them.
okay, Michael. So when does my year start? When I receive the paperwork from Tallahassee, my paperwork you just filed?
Yeah, well, you actually start already. Once we file with Tallahassee, now you're waiting for the IRS to give you your 501c3 status. But you started the day we file your
The day I got
corporation paper.
my EIN. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now another responsibility of boards, and this is when you got a really sizable board, is fundraising. The board is
And that's what we're
responsible.
gonna do. That's the one that, yeah, we're gonna do. But don't you do
Good.
fundraisers?
Well, I don't do fundraisers because I'm a training institution. So all
Oh,
of
come
my
from
monies
training.
come from, like I'm doing with you, clients who take my workshops. So I
Oh,
don't need to go out and get no fundraising because I'm a training institution. All my funds come from when I
yeah.
do workshops, like paid workshops.
So mine is services too, but it's gonna be like,
Yes, yours
yeah,
is different,
services
right?
because I want to give back to the community, like Christmas and
Exactly,
Thanksgiving, and give to the less fortunate. And so I'm gonna do a lot of fundraising.
exactly. Always find a new term for less fortunate. People hate that, right?
Yeah, plus with the new into startup, I'm gonna do to get the business as a new startup, but I'm not gonna rely on them every year because the business will generate enough to replenish whatever we need. But I see
Definitely.
yearly when we do our just to give back to the community yearly. I just need, and correct me if I'm wrong, I just need a startup because we need the kitchen appliance, we need furniture, we need this. So I'm gonna
Yeah, that's
you
what
know,
you want. That's what's gonna be part of the first grant
do this. Yeah,
that you
but
put together.
but I don't need annually I wouldn't need anything because we should, maintain
Right,
whatever just to
right.
help the community out.
Well, this thing I had vision that hey, from this one organization that I'm doing, Now I'm going to reach out and have three different buildings. So think ahead, right? In the future, and what have you. Because you're going to grow from that one building you have now,
Uh-huh.
and then technically you're going to get another building and another building, which
I
means your
am.
staff is going to grow.
I am gonna get another building.
Hey, that's what this is all about, girlfriend.
Oh my
This
goodness.
is about growth. This is about taking to where you are to where you need to be.
Hmm.
Starting with one building, two buildings, and then three buildings.
Oh my goodness.
See, unfortunately, I don't need that because 99% of my work is done online.
Yeah,
So I don't physically need to have one or two, three buildings, right?
yeah.
You won't ever have because you provide services, it's gonna be different. And guess what? Given the current atmosphere when it comes to your clientele, monies are streaking up all over the place. So
Yeah, it's
therefore,
true.
you're going to be in a position because you're taking this grant class to go after all of those monies, as opposed to your competitors. Eventually they're going to fall down because guess what? The only money that they're going to be dependent upon is money that's coming in from the government,
Hmm.
and the government is reducing dollars as we speak. So
So
your
you
organization is going to focus on not only government money, but foundation, corporation, and individual funding as well. And as we proceed in the class, you're going to see what I'm talking about when I open up your eyes to the different fundings that's out there.
okay?
It's probably over 35,000 different funders that fund nonprofits all over the
And it's
world.
not only
We're
local,
not
but
going to
it's
talk about, I'm sorry, go ahead.
this is not only local, but it's nationwide, right?
Yes, I mean, if you only depend on local money, you would have died, right? You want to depend upon national dollars. That's where most of your money is going to come from national foundations and corporations, as opposed to individuals like the state of Florida. Now, some of the things your board wants to take in consideration as it relates to fundraising. They need to make personal financial contribution to the organization. Even if it's 15 or $20. They want it because in order for someone to invest in you, you want to show my board has faith in me because they made financial contributions.
Okay, now tell me, what does that look like? Who would I and how did I decide to make contribution, and how does that?
Well, some of the things you're going to talk to your board about after you finish training and everything is say, hey, look, one of the things we're going to need is for y'all to make financial contribution to the organization.
Wait a minute, you said for
That
y'all
might,
or the board? The board. I would
the
have to make.
board. Yeah, we only talking about the board.
Okay. So
Only
wait a
the
minute.
board.
So wait a minute. So it's no money is coming in. Where am I going to get the money to make the financial contribution?
No, your board of directors as individuals. For example, I'm board member one, and I say, man, I really appreciate it being on the board. What is some of my responsibility? And you can say, well, one of the things I need you to do is to make a financial contribution to the nonprofit.
So the
It may
board
be
member,
$5.
I'm going to ask the board member to make a financial contribution to the board.
Yes,
Well, what if they say they don't
like
have
my
it?
board members, they give $50 every year.
So let me ask you. So what are the benefits to the board?
The benefits of the board should be because they believe in what you're doing. They
So they're going
believe
to
in the
give money.
cause that you're fighting for.
They're going to give money and they're going to volunteer monthly just because they believe in the board. Nothing. I mean,
Yes, that should be the sole purpose of that purpose serving on the person serving on the board. See, my board members believe in giving the nonprofit a fair shake. So they want to be on my board because they want to see that all nonprofits have a fighting opportunity to be successful. And that's why they serve, because they believe in the cause of the organization. Now, your board members should believe in kids and children and what you're doing. And that should be the reason why they give support to the organization. It doesn't have to be a large amount. There's something to show when you write and you go after money, because it's the first thing funders want to know. Are your boards making financial contribution to the nonprofit. Doesn't have to be that much. My board do $50 a year. It might be
Mm-hmm.
$5 here, $5 here. That total $50 over the year.
Mm.
And they don't mind because they fighting what I'm doing. I'm fighting for what they believe in. Your boys should give money because they believe in the kids that you're supporting and the needs of that. That should be the sole purpose. That's different if it was a for profit. That's different. But as a nonprofit, yeah, they should give it because it touches their heart to be on the board. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So the other things they want to do is if you give them a fundraiser, they should attend those fundraising events. Now, do you plan on giving fundraising?
Am I planning having fundraisers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, your board should help you put that event together if need be. Me as a CEO, I don't need my board to do anything. I do everything, right? But I know if I needed them to do anything, they would jump at it.
But let me ask you, but even doing a fundraiser, because I've been to fundraiser activities, especially in the so so it takes money to put a fundraiser activity together. You have food and you have
Well, where are you
the
gonna get that
venue
money
and
from?
huh?
Where you plan to get the money from?
That's why I'm opening this can of worm because I'm asking where am I
You
going to
write
get
a
money?
grant for it. Grants are for everything.
Oh, so write a grant for the fundraiser activity. Okay.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you write a grant. That's exactly what you write a grant for everything, including the fundraising. The
So
money
let
for
me
the
ask you,
food.
you saying so I need like a CPA for the grant only, someone to manage this money, right? Or to
Exactly. We're gonna get to that later on.
okay,
So
the
you're
ins
right.
and outs and
Hold that footnote. We're gonna get
okay,
to that. Yeah.
okay.
I'm glad you're ahead of the game. Yep. We're gonna get
No,
to that
because the other
a
one
little
was
bit later.
dissolved, so it's the other because Naomi didn't understand it, and so I need to make sure everything is right this time.
Yes. Yes, exactly. And guess where you're gonna get the money to pay your account?
Writing a grant.
You're gonna write a grant. Ah, exactly. Exactly. Okay, let's continue. Okay, this is important. There are three legal duties for a board of directors. First, a duty of care. They need to exercise competency and reasonable care. They need to attend meetings, review materials, and make informed decisions. Now, how often are your board of directors going to meet once you get your papers from the federal government?
Oh, good. Monthly or bi-monthly? How often
I
do
think that if you do monthly, you're going to lose your board. Do it quarterly, every 3 months.
quarterly?
Yeah, you don't want to take more time than is necessary from your board. And that, like for me, I do my board meetings online. And the
Okay.
only thing I do during those board meetings, I update them and what's going on in the organization. I update them as to any new funding that's coming in. I up them to any challenges that we might be facing. And that's it. Board meeting normally over in 15, 20 minutes.
Oh.
Okay. And then a duty or loyalty. This is very important. Undivided, undivided allegiance to the organization. Avoid conflict of interest, and maintain confidentiality. Let me tell you why this is important. By undivided allegiance, that means they don't run to another organization talking about what your organization is doing, so that organization can profit from that.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that goes on in that board meeting stays in that board meeting. They have to avoid a conflict of interest. And they have to maintain confidentiality. Whatever is in that board meeting stays in that board meeting. And then a duty of obedience. They have to be faithful to the mission. comply with the laws and regulations, and follow the bylaws. Now, one of the things you want to do is make sure all your board members receive your bylaws. And what are bylaws?
Are you asking me a question?
Yes, that's the question. What are bylaws?
What you say? What is the bylaws?
Yeah, what are bylaws?
The bylaws tell you how you should conduct business, tell you everything,
To be real
everything.
easy, if you drop the by, what do you have?
The Bible, the
No, if you drop the by, what do you have?
laws, the laws,
Laws. That's what bylaws are. They the laws of your organization,
the
okay?
laws. Yeah.
And that's why they call them bylaws. Okay, now let's get serious. When are board members liable? Now let's talk about personal liability exposure. Now, a board of directors can be liable if they knowingly participate in wrongdoing. If the organization acts outside of the nonprofit purpose, and they should have knowledge, they should know about any wrongdoing that might happen. What does that mean? Let's say, for example, you put money in your pocket and your board members know that that's a no, right? Then they
Yeah.
can be held liable and responsible for that. Let's say, for example, you hire a child molester to your organization to work with those kids. Your board can be liable to be sued. In most cases, the board cannot be sued. Only if they act in a situation that they knowingly know something is wrong. Let's say, for example, you was buying food for your organization and you knew that food was spoiled, but you did it anyway. Then you can be sued and the board can be sued.
So
That makes
let's
sense?
let's let's go back to the if someone is a molester or maybe someone has it, so you have to do background check on them.
Oh, for your field, you have to do. See, I don't have to do so much background checks for my organization,
But
but for your organization, because you're getting dealing with kids, oh yeah, you have to do background organization every year on that person on those
every
folks.
year, but the one person, okay, she's in childcare, one is in ALF and the and me. Okay, so everyone, because they're already in this kind of field, they already have their background
Yes, that's
and keep
so
up with it.
important. If you don't learn anything else today, do a background check. Don't let that come back to haunt you.
Yeah, or you have them give it to me every year because they're already in the field. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But yeah, this is definitely, man, in your particular situation, yeah, when you're dealing with kids, it's a whole new different thing. It's just like when you're dealing with senior citizens, it's a whole new different thing because these people are
Yeah.
considered to be vulnerable, and they relying upon you as the
Yeah.
CEO to make
Uh-huh.
sure
Know these
that
things.
okay. Now, let's talk about the protection that's required. You should have directors and officer insurance.
Oh,
You
really?
should have, okay, what was that?
I say, really? Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. You want to. When someone sue your organization, you want to be able to have this insurance, board and officer insurance, so the insurance company pay for it. Let me give you an example. Some child comes to your office, they hopping around, it's water on the floor, they fall down and fall. Guess what? You're gonna be sued.
But let
That's
me
why
ask
you want.
let me ask you this. So we do have meeting or whatever. It's going to be in the Future Heroes in the building, in the building. So the building already have its insurance. The daycares have its insurance. This is a 501(c)(3). So
As long as you got the insurance, you're good to go.
what I'm saying is, do I need one at the 501(c)(3) as well as having one?
Yes, people sue 501c3s all the time.
Okay.
So yes, if nothing you learn from this class is A, make sure you do a criminal justice background, and second, make sure you have board insurance. Now, in your articles of in your bylaws, you should have what's known as an indemnification provision. Do you know what that is?
Not really.
Okay, you haven't checked your bylaws. Well, this right here says to anybody that's trying to sue your organization that you cannot sue the organization individually, you can only sue the corporation. That protects your board members
Okay.
from being
Hmm.
sued. And if you go to your bylaws that I did for you, you're going to see that provision right up there looking at you right in your face. And guess
Okay.
what? A lot of organizations do not have that provision in their bylaws. And guess what? They get sued individually. So you're a board member, you're sitting on the board. The first thing you know, you're being sued. You say, hold on. I'm sitting on this board doing a good thing and now I'm being sued? Yeah, because you didn't have an indemnification provision in your bylaws that say only the organization can be sued and not the individual that make up
Okay.
the board of directors. Now, do you have volunteers?
Do I have volunteers? You mean on the
Or
board?
will you have volunteers?
Only have it's three of us. So they're
No, I'm talking about
volunteers.
volunteers, people to come in and do volunteer work.
Well, maybe the parents. Yes. So let's say yes.
Okay, good. You want to make sure you got a volunteer protection clause in there.
But wait, let me back up. So you're asking me about the center or the 501c3?
The 501c, everything today is 501c3.
Everything is,
That's a whole new conversation when we
but
talking about the center
okay.
itself. But this is
So
all
having volunteer,
501c3.
hmm, is it wise to have volunteer? Because if we're talking about all these, make sure what goes on stays there, and if we have volunteers,
Well, you can have volunteers, and they sign a statement saying that, what happens in the organization stays in the organization. But let
so
me tell you why it's important to have volunteers. And trust me, you're going to have a lot of people that want to volunteer, right? Especially after we set you up like you need to be set up. When they want to look at your organization, they want to see that people buy into your dream for nothing. That means the volunteers.
so
So
maybe
yeah,
some
we'll talk about
parents.
that also.
Well, not some parents. Yeah, we still have to do the background check. Okay. And with the volunteer, if one of the
Yeah,
board
I
members
don't care.
leave, then
Whoever
the
it is that come in contact with those kids needs to do a background check. Now, I would suggest to you, because they're doing volunteer, you should pay for that background check.
uh-huh. So, and when one of the board member leave, for instance, then the volunteer can come in to that space.
No, volunteers is people that actually work day to day with the operation, not the board. The board only meet quarterly, 3 times a month. But your volunteers is there working with you hand in hand at your center with the kids. That's what I mean by volunteers.
Yeah, okay.
Not
So
the board.
I don't know when to separate one from the other because it's like two different entity, right?
Yeah, a volunteer is someone that comes in and volunteers.
And with the
You
children,
might
not
have a
this,
parent to say to you, you know what? I'm so happy with what you're doing. Can I volunteer 2 hours a week to help you? That's a volunteer, as opposed to a board member. A board
okay.
member is on the
Okay, and I guess I'm a little confused between the because the daycare and the board should be two different entity, right?
yeah, two separate.
So
You
when
got
they
your
come to
daycare and then you
volunteer,
got your
it's not
nonprofit.
necessarily. So when they come to volunteer, it's not necessarily they're volunteering for the board; they're volunteering for the daycare.
Exactly.
Okay, but
Exactly.
I thought you said we only talking about the board, not the daycare part of it.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I need to regress and step back this 1 second.
Because the point I'm
We're
trying to,
talking about in this
understanding how to keep
respect,
this
the
separate,
volunteers that come to volunteer for the organization, not the board of directors.
not for the
But
501c3
even those
the daycare.
volunteers should also have a background check.
Yeah,
Because you might have a mother that's coming to volunteer, and that mother got child abuse charges.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And then she take it out on the kids, and then you sue, and the court find out, they can hold you criminally responsible.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna say you should have known. Okay. Now, let's talk about making sure we have the board protected. It's a liability protection strategy. And there's four legs to that. First is, and we talked about it earlier, D&O insurance. That's directing officer. Legal defense and settlements. Identification. Bylaw. Remember I talked about it earlier? Your
Yeah.
bylaw should have a provision. Volunteer protection. Risk management. And best practice.
What do you mean by you said bylaws provision for reimbursement?
Yeah, if you're gonna reimburse board members, let's say your board members say, look, we're going out to catch a plane because you want your board members to go to Chicago, right? Your board members pay for that trip. You have to reimburse them for that money.
Okay.
I remember just giving I don't see this ever happening, but let's say your board member, let me give you another example. Let's say a board member, you're giving an event, and at the last minute you forgot that you didn't have a projector screen. So board members go out and they rent that projection screen. You have to reimburse that board member for that money. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So earlier you said I would get paid, but the board members don't.
No, only the CEO get paid. Why is it that you're the only one to get paid?
Why?
Because you oversee the day-to-day operations. The other board members come for a meeting quarterly. But you, as a staff, have to oversee the day operation of that organization. That's why you get paid. That
And
makes sense?
who decide how much and how often? How does that work?
Well, my organization, I decide everything. My board just go along with it. If I tell the board, I said, look, I need to get $75,000 a year. Okay, they sign up on it.
Oh,
So
so okay, so they sign off on it.
yes,
Okay.
exactly. That's why I say have a very small board. That whatever you say they're gonna go with. Yeah, yeah. So I tell my board, look, I need a raise. Okay. Anything like that, my board would definitely jump in. My board is a hands off. They come to meeting and that's it.
I need some of your
You
board
know.
members.
Yes. Because
So,
I got three board members. Besides me, two other board members.
oh my goodness.
Yeah, you have to have at least three board members to have a
I know that I have three, but I need someone who's loyal to me like that.
well, I think that what you'll find out, man, is that as you grow, you're gonna be good. Because most of the things you're gonna be doing anyway is you. Actually, the board members is only name only in most cases. They name on my board members are name only because I
So let
run
me ask you.
everything else.
Let me ask you because I'm going to get paid from the daycare, which I know is, I'm hoping they'll do well by the grace of God. So I'm going to get paid for that. So you see, like I won't need a lot of money from the 501(c)(3). So can I pay them from mine? Because I feel like if people are getting paid, they're more. I'm serious. You
Well,
know.
you can't pay them because board members are not supposed to be paid. They're supposed to do it voluntarily.
Okay. Can I give
Yeah,
them a gift? Can I give them a gift every now and then?
you can do that. You can do
Can
that.
it be a monetary gift or it has to be
You want to be very, very careful about giving your board money per se, right?
okay.
Yeah, you want to be very, very careful about that.
Mm.
Yeah, because they're supposed to be volunteers, right?
Okay. It's supposed to be
Like one of
voluntary.
the committees I serve on, I get paid because it's an organization that's a for profit. So I
Okay.
get paid as a board member. But as a nonprofit, no, you can't pay those people. But what you're going to find out that you should have board members that get the joy from knowing that you're doing good with your nonprofit work that you're doing.
Okay.
But yeah, I understand where your heart is, but legally, nah, you don't want. That's why I wanted to start off the class with this
Yeah. Hold on. Let me answer this.
presentation
Hold on
first.
a minute. Miss Sylvia, I'm in a class. Let me call you back, okay? Okay. Okay, I'm back.
Yeah, okay. And then you want to make sure your board has best practices. Again, they should meet at least quarterly.
Quarterly.
Yeah, because I think that you burn people out meeting every month. Because understand, they doing this voluntarily, and they do have a life to live.
Yeah.
So quarterly, you have to maintain business, detailed minutes. The minutes give a summary of what was said and things of that nature. Then you should get your board materials in advance. Whatever that board meeting is going to be about, the board should have that in their hand. When I say hand, email them before the meeting starts.
Mm-hmm.
And then you should document all decisions that are made. Let's say, and get this, even if you get a grant, and if someone said they're going to give you a grant, can you accept that grant?
I'm saying if someone said they're going to give me a grant, can I accept the grant?
Yes.
Why not? Yeah.
No, your board has to approve it first.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's why this class right here is so important.
Oh, you know
Your
what? You know
board
what?
has to,
Because it could be dirty money and they want to give it to you. Ooh.
yes, your board has to
Ooh.
approve it, right?
And they have to be the person who's giving, they have to be genuine, right? It can't be no fly by night person giving you money because it could be dirty money, right?
Yeah, because you don't want it to come back to you in the press that you accepted money
Yeah.
from a
But I
drug
gave to
dealer.
so and so.
While it's not illegal, it can cost your organization reputation.
Mm.
When I say it's illegal, that means you're not conducting a drug operation. That drug operation is giving you money, which is no. You know. So the board has to. Even when you go to write a grant, your board has to approve.
Mm.
So let's say, for example, you identify a grant for 10,000. You have to go to your board and say, look, we need to get your, I need to get your approval to go for this particular grant, and you do that in terms of a board resolution. We're getting to that as well. Okay, anything else so far?
Well, for instance, if I'm busy and there's a meeting happening in Tallahassee and I want a board member, so I'll pay for the expense through the board, right?
Yes,
Everything and their food
yes.
and everything.
You can do
And
that,
then
the food and everything like that. Even give them extra money, as long as it's related to that trip.
okay.
For example, you can give them a stipend of $250 or $300 to go
Okay.
get lunch or whatever they want to do. Go to a movie. That is acceptable.
Okay.
Okay, let's talk about the minutes. The minutes must include the date, the time, and location. Who attended, a discussion summary, a motion or votes that came into play, and conflict disclosure, making sure there's no conflict of interest that's going on. What
But let
is a
me
conflict of interest?
someone disagree
Let's
with what
say
you're
for
saying. Someone disagree what you're saying.
well, that's part of it. But more importantly, a conflict of interest is when you're doing something that's not right. Let me give you an example. So your board member come to you and say, you know what? I want to give my baby a baby shower. And I know you're not open on Saturday, so can we set up in the nonprofit building and do a date and do a shower for my daughter or graduation for my daughter? That's a no because that board member is getting a benefit from that organization.
But let me ask you,
They
you
can
said
pay you. They can pay you now, but not for free.
Michael, let me ask you something. So I'm building this building. So you suggest having a room just for the nonprofit to have meetings and stuff and then collect, how does that? I don't know.
Well, at some point, you want to have your own nonprofit building. You want to start where you're at now, but at some point, you want to go for money to operate your own nonprofit building because you're going to have staff and all that stuff like that. So at some
Why
point
can't they
as you
be in the
grow,
same childcare business, maybe in the office or something? Why they can't be in there?
well, they can, but it's all about growth. At one point, you want to have just nonprofit separate from that building and on its own as you grow, years and years from now.
Okay.
Okay, I think we went over this. We went over this. We went over this. Now, what is a high performing board? Well, your board members should be, but not necessarily can't. Your board members should be, but doesn't necessarily have to be strategic thinking. They should focus on long-term impact. Diverse. They should have skills, different skills, backgrounds, and perspectives. Ideally, my board members have no skills, nothing like that. I just got them on there just as a
You said they have no
paper
boards,
holder.
no skills, no nothing, nobody.
No, my board members don't. No,
Why
they
not?
don't.
You're
No,
telling me my board member should have those, and you're telling me yours doesn't?
mine doesn't. Uh-uh.
Why
No,
not?
mine doesn't. Now, some board members, they think they consider themselves high shot, and they say, "Oh no, my board members got to have all these credentials and what have you." Not my board member. They just have to be able to sit in the seat. But some board members do have that requirement, right? And the board members should be mission ownership. They should own it.
Passionate ownership.
Now, there are a number of different committees. No board of directors have all of these committees. So all these committees we're going to talk about doesn't apply to your nonprofit. But
Let
other
me let
committees
me let me
that
stop
you
you for a
want to
minute.
have,
Let me stop you for a minute. So we schedule a meeting. We're going to have a meeting. It's three of us on the board. All of a sudden, one doesn't have an emergency. We just cancel the minute, right? We're meeting, right? Because it's going to be odd number.
well, that's going to be in your bylaws. But more than likely, I think the way I have your bylaws, that 2/3 has to be there. That means if
Yeah.
two people is there, you can continue on.
If 2/3 is there, we can continue.
Yeah, if you have two members there, you can continue on.
But that's an even number. Who's going to vote? And
Well, that's what you present yourself with that situation if you decide. But honestly, your board, you should have a board where so you're the person that decide everything. They just there to be there.
but but I thought you have to have a hard number for your vote. Are you? We have the meeting, but just don't vote then, right? Because you have to have a hard number to vote.
Yeah, when you're talking about your board member, you should have three board there should be three board members at that meeting. But sometimes that's not possible. Only two members can be there, you and the board member. Right?
So in that
So
case,
the meeting can
you don't vote in anything because our three needs to be there too, because it's going to affect them
no, you can
personally.
vote with 2/3 of your board. You just
But the
can't
other one,
vote if it's
but
one
the third
person
one is going
yourself.
to say I wasn't there, and it wouldn't be fair, right?
Well, that's true with my board members. I don't never have a problem like that with my board members.
But that's your board. You're exceptional.
Well, that's why I want to say your board should be like that too. I'm trying to give you some hints, right?
And maybe we can table some things because I've been bored. I
Yeah,
said
you
let's
can table if you can't vote, you can table it.
table that, and when the others there, then we can bring it up and
Exactly,
vote. Okay.
exactly. So let's move on. The first committee is called the executive committee. In your case, your executive committee is going to be your board. But some board of directors have 10 members. And of that 10 members, they may have four that's part of the executive committee. But because you only have a board of three, that's going to be the executive committee.
I think I want five because I really
Well,
want to
good,
have, huh?
good. Then that's going to
I
be
want to
the
have
executive committee.
a hard number when I I just yeah.
Okay. Now, that means that um, the different committees includes the executive committee, the finance committee, the development committee, the governance and nominating committee, and then you got obstacle committees. Keep in mind, you don't have to have all these committees. My
Yeah,
committee is the executive committee and the finance committee. You always want to have a financial oversight committee and your executive committee. The rest of them, as you grow, you build like that.
executive,
Okay, like
executive
some
and
people got
board.
a program committee, and others got a marketing and communication committee. But you don't have to have all these committees. So, what's the role of an executive committee? Well, the executive committee consists of the chair, the vice chair, the treasury, and the secretary. But if you only got three board members, it might be the chair, the vice chair, and the treasurer. Okay. And the responsibility of the executive committee is to act on urgent matters to come up before the board of directors. That's what will be the responsibility of the executive committee. And I say executive committee in that normally you got a board of directors that consists of 14 people. So if
Yeah.
an emergency come up, they need to have an executive committee, and the executive committee might consist of only 4 members of the board. In your case, you got a very small board. So therefore, it would always be your executive committee all in one.
So at any role, I could be called the chair or the CEO.
Well, both. I'm the chair and CEO of my organization.
Chair and CEO.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm chair / CEO.
So in the meantime, I need to go to a lot of board meetings to kind of see how understand how these things are.
Well, you're gonna be okay. It's not. In fact, I'm gonna send you some videos on it too.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry. It's not. I hope I'm not making it complicated, and I don't mean to. But it becomes complicated when you got 12 board members. See, a
Yeah.
lot of this stuff don't apply to you because you only have 3 or 4 or 5 board members. But as you grow, and you might have 5, 10, 15 board members, that's when all this stuff applies.
Yeah. I really need a Hispanic person because I'm going in the Hispanic neighborhood. I need an Hispanic on the board.
That is going to be critical.
It's
Because
going
you
to be
have to
critical.
represent the population that you're serving.
Huh?
I say that's going to be critical because you have to represent the population
Yeah.
that you're serving.
Uh-huh. So I need a Hispanic person.
You have to have an Hispanic. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're thinking ahead. So the finance committee basically consists of the treasurer, and they deal with like reviewing monthly financials, develop annual budget, oversee the audit process. Now, how often, before your nonprofit dissolved, how often did you do an audit for your organization?
Michael, I never did anything, believe you me. I
For
did something
this
wrong.
nonprofit, make
I
sure
didn't
you get an audit done once a year.
Michael, I can't tell you what I did, Michael, if you're gonna kill me. I trusted someone and someone
Oh my God.
I did. It was big time mess, but we had to have an attorney and get it. I did not
Oh
use it. Somebody else,
my
I know. My
God.
sister, I mean, she asked me, can I use it? And then I'm like, oh, I would get in big trouble. But it's
Oh my
dissolved and
God.
it was a big mess. It was a big mess, but
Oh.
it's dissolved now.
Well, you learn and you live.
We do. Jesus, Jesus,
It
Jesus.
wasn't that costly, right? This thing,
Well,
some
I
people get
did well,
costly
not for
things.
me, but thank God she cleared up everything because she trusts somebody else to do her the paperwork, the 941 and stuff, and this CPA wasn't doing the work. It was just a lot of mess. It was just a lot of mess. But at the end, she spent a lot
Oh,
of money and cleared it up. Thank God.
oh my
Because
God, man.
again,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah,
learned trying to,
that's
and
important,
again,
man.
just trying to help people and trying to do the right thing because she asked me because I wasn't using it. And I'm like, okay, because I'm steady waiting on the building to come. I mean, I had no reason
Right,
to use it.
right.
So, but I thank God it's yeah, we had to have an attorney and she paid big time. Thank God.
Yeah, thank God, man.
So
That
that's
can,
dissolved. But
whoa, man,
but I'm
that can
sure that's in the
be,
background of somewhere. I mean, it didn't they can dig that up, but yeah, but personally
yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
use
yeah.
it. So
Whoa, yeah. Well, look, you live and you learn. You live and you learn. Okay, then some people have what's known as the development committee. The development committee slash financial fundraising committee. Um, like I said, you don't have that many board members, so you're not going to have a fundraising committee because most of the funding is going to come from grants and everything. But if you were a larger organization, and by the way, I don't have a development committee also for my nonprofit. Um, but if I had a larger board member count, that would be different. The beauty of having a small board count is that you don't have to adhere to all of these other requirements. Okay.
You sure 100% board giving? I mean, all the board, like you said earlier, should be giving something towards the nonprofit.
Yes. Now, again, it doesn't have to be that much. Minimum
Mhm.
$25. And you can say $5 a month. But let them know that in order to get money, you have to show that your board is willing to give money. That's
So,
how you get
oh,
funders to
because you're
give
gonna
money.
ask, okay, okay,
You
no,
see what I'm saying?
and they
Yeah.
should be doing it just because of their passion. Okay, they
Yes.
believe
Just
in.
because of
Okay.
that passion. Exactly.
Mhm.
Okay. Let's continue on.
How
Okay.
do you determine how much a CEO make?
Well, two ways you can do it. You can Google it, and
But
you
what
can
if I
say,
don't want to
how
take
much
money as a
does a
CEO?
CEO
Let me
of
ask you,
an org?
what if I don't want to take money as a CEO? Because that opened up
Oh,
a whole more can of worm if I take money as a CEO. Only if I travel, then the business will pay me. I don't think I'll take money for anything. It's just that the money, I mean, I'll turn to my invoice on my receipt if I have to go to Tallahassee, I have to
right.
do this. And I just get reimbursed for whatever yeah, because I don't
Yeah,
think I want
you don't have to be paid, but I ain't got it like you. I gotta be.
yeah, because I'm going to be
I
getting paid
gotta
from,
be paid. Now, if I had another source of income, that'd be different, right?
I am
But
going to have
yeah.
my major source of income. So I don't want to get paid for this. It's just that when I go places and drive, get
Well,
my
you
gas
should
and what,
pay yourself $1. You always want to have at least a monetary amount, even if it's $1 a year.
oh.
Don't do it for nothing. Do it for $1 a year.
Yeah, we can do that then. But even that opened up
Okay.
for a can of room because it's money, even though it's a dollar.
Yeah, but it's not because it's only $1.
Okay.
Yeah, it's only $1. 50 cents, 20 cents. But you want to have to be paid something. And it doesn't have to be that necessary amount. And keep in
Oh,
mind, your nonprofit and your for-profit are separate entities. So no
yeah.
matter what money you're making on the for-profit side, it should make a difference on the nonprofit side.
Hmm.
That's what you make.
Or
But it's
maybe,
up to you.
or
You
maybe
can
they can
say
just give a
$1.
certain amount, maybe give a certain amount for travel and expenses and food, just designate an amount.
Yes.
So that's what it's
Yeah.
for.
Yeah,
So
you can
that
do
will
that.
be in the budget. So I'm at liberty. I don't have to, okay, I spend this and wait for them to
Well,
get
I gotta
reimburse
say, you're one
me.
of the first CEOs I ever met. It's just talking about not getting paid, right? So I'll take my head off to you, right?
That's my travel expenses because I know it opened a new kind of worm when you start getting money for this. But I can say, yeah, maybe 200 a year. I don't know, every 6 months. I don't know for travel and for
Yeah,
material.
yeah, that will meet your guidelines and your requirements. As
Yeah,
long as it's some type of money.
yeah.
Most like Bill Gates. Bill Gates get $1.
He gets a
That's all
dollar.
he paid. Just $1.
Oh,
Yeah, but you have to have a monetary amount
yeah.
to be the CEO.
Traveling
If
for
only $1.
yeah.
And the reason why Bill Gates can do $1 because his company get billions of dollars. So his nonprofit just pays him $1 a year, as opposed to his for profit, and which he getting. I think they hit $1 trillion this year. Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's why he doesn't get paid for his nonprofit because he got another source of money that's coming in. But most of us regular people, we ain't got it like that. Okay. Now, very important, every nonprofit should have a strategic plan. And that strategic plan talks about your organizational roadmap. The strategic plan should be, where do you plan to be in 3 to 5 years? How do you get there? Your goals, your strategies, and your action, your timeline, and your accountability. It should translate your vision and your mission into one concrete action plan.
So, for instance, a good strategic plan, it should be having another center within a year, with 3 to 5 years. Well, in 2 years, having another center, opening another center, or expanding to what I have.
Yeah, everything is in that 3 to 5 years strategic plan. Now, as you grow, you can come back to me and we'll put together that strategic
As
plan
I
for
grow,
you.
I'm doing the first. Oh, John, I'm doing all the right. You're gonna be
See,
in the.
you can't think like that. You got to think you're going to grow. Don't think
I am
about
gonna
today.
grow, but
Think
I'm saying
about
I'm doing the
tomorrow.
grind. I'm gonna be. You're gonna be helping me with these grants, sure.
Yeah, I'll be happy you with all of it. But nevertheless, right, you want to have that 5 year strategic plan.
Yeah. Oh,
But
yeah. That's growth. That sure has to show where I want to be. Yeah, you can't stay in the same place. I know that.
yeah, that 5 year plan talks about year 1, year 2, year 3, and year 4. Like, for example, in year 2, open a new building.
Uh-huh.
In year 4, open a second building. And in year 5, open a third building. And have another building. That's what we mean by strategic planning.
I'm gonna say
Year
daycare. Maybe
one,
maybe we can go to
year
an
one,
elementary
you might
plan.
have
Yeah.
4 staff. Year 2, it might be 8 staff. Year 5, you might have 10 staff. That's what we're
Yeah.
talking about, planning ahead. So, what are the four M's when it comes to strategic planning? Mission. Your mission deals with your services and your programs. Management deals with HR and operation. Money deals with financial resources. And then finally, marketing deals with visibility and branding. Okay, let's continue on. Any questions?
Those are deep. But go ahead.
Okay, good. Now, when we talk about your nonprofit related to your component to your mission, Title 1, Mission and Program Services. What should it address? What programs you will offer? Who will you serve? What outcomes do you seek? And how will you ensure quality? Management component. You should address, what staffing do you need? What systems must be in place? What technology is required? And how would you measure effectiveness? Money component. How will you plan the cost for your operation? What are your revenue sources? Who will diversify? How will you diversify funding? And how would you create the reserves that you need to operate? Marketing component. How do you plan to be perceived? Who are your stakeholders? What is your competitive edge? And how will you reach your audience? We're going to talk about that also as we go through this section. Not this section, but future section. Now, what is the element of a strategic plan? Your executive summary, your current state assessment, your program description, your market analysis, your operation and infrastructure, your timeline and action steps, your financial plan, budget, and evaluation and monitoring. This consists of a strategic plan, a 5 year, no, 3 to 5 year plan. Always should be 5 years, but you can do 3 to 5 though. Now, this is staff recruitment. How do you plan to recruit your staff? First of all, you want to do a written job description for every position. You want to document your selection process. You want to do wide posting for diverse candidates. Structure your interviews. Preface and credential verification. Remember I said earlier? Background checks. When appropriate. In your case, always do background checks because you're
Always.
dealing with kids. Always, right? And then it's legal compliance, making sure that everything is done according to the legal compliance. Now, performance and evaluation. You should be doing annual reports. The annual report is going to be on all full-time employees. You should have a 90-day probationary period. When you bring
Okay,
on your
okay.
staff,
Again. So we tying this into the 90-day. And so this is for the 501(c)(3), or go back to the daycare, because I know
no,
we do this one.
everything is 501c3.
This is 501(c)(3). Because
Yeah,
okay.
everything is 501c3. Right.
But we don't have
Okay.
that annual, we don't have any full-time employees for the 501(c)(3), only me.
You should. Come on, girlfriend. You want the right grant so you can get a staff to oversee the programs for your nonprofit. Even though you're not going to be the paid staff per se, you want to have a program overseer to oversee the nonprofit. And that
Uh,
person that you choose, you have to do a 90-day probationary period to make sure that's the
Okay,
right
so
person.
this person is not on the board.
No, no. This is paid staff.
Oh.
Most people call it a program director. The program that runs the direct the program, oversees the program.
Okay, so three people on the board, and this is an additional person that works outside to
Yes,
benefit the board.
this is a staff member, it's not a board member.
But they
It's
work
a
for the
staff
board.
member. Right.
Yes,
This is
staff
just
member. So they don't come to meeting, they just oversee everything. And
right. They don't come to well, they come to me to give a report. Like when you give
but
your
then again,
board
that
meeting, they have
before
to
if
come.
it's but if it's three of us and that addition there's be four of us, they just come just to give a like a secretary kind of update, kind of that's it and leave.
Yeah, that's a staff member to come. They will say
Okay.
to you, for example, they would say to the board, well, this month we service 85 kids.
Oh.
Okay, for example. This month we spent X number of dollars. Okay? Stuff like that that the board needs to hear as to what's going on in the organization.
Oh.
So a report like that. But again, that's far down the road when you start to get money to hire this person to be
Oh.
the program director. And the program director has to have what?
Background check.
An administrative assistant. So you're going to have that. Yes. That's what grants are for.
Okay, and those two get paid.
Yes. That's what
Okay.
grants are for.
So I see those are the two only gonna get paid. I'll just get a
Yes.
stipend
Yes. You
for my
getting it?
travel
You
and
getting
stuff.
it. Yes.
Yeah, it's cleaner if I say I don't get paid. They just give me maybe $500 a year or whatever for
Yes, exactly. You
traveling
got it.
expense and whatever. Okay.
You getting it? You got it. Okay. Now let's talk about why policy matter. Okay. Policies provide guidelines for consistent decision. It talks about the statement of core values, your legal protection, and your framework for accountability. The board of directors is the entity that creates the policies. Actually, in my board, I create the policy. They disapprove it. Okay. Policies versus procedures. So what are policies? Policies are set by the board. Policies are board principles. Policies deal with the what and the why related to your organization. Policy require board approval to change. That means if you decide to change a policy that you created, then the board must approve any new changes to that policy. Procedures. Procedures is developed by the management team. That's going to be you, right? And the program director. It breaks down the how and the who, and it must be approved by the board. Okay. Requirement policy must have a conflict of interest. A policy. Now, make sure you look at your conflict of interest policy that I put together for you.
And
Financial
Michael,
man.
you keep listen. You keep saying you put it. Okay, the the conflict of interest I have, because when you sent it to me, you sent me somebody else's and I didn't hear from you a while. So I went to an attorney and she created one. So the one I have is from an attorney.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can, yeah, so the one I have is from attorney, but it has conflict of interest. But what should I look for
Yeah.
in the conflict of interest?
Let me also let me take a look at what your attorney have put together for you, right?
Okay, I'll send it.
Because IRS might see it differently. That's why I need to make sure we're on point with everything related to your 501c3.
I'll forward that to you.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely want to take a look at everything so we can make sure we're consistent related to the nonprofit. Uh, Personal policy, that's another thing you want to put together. Confidentiality. Do you know what a whistleblower protection is?
Someone telling you you're doing something. Oh, I'm
Yes,
very,
yes. You must have a whistleblower protection. That is, you must say to staff, if you ever need to get something to the CEO, you won't be fired. For example, let's say your secretary, who is your administrative assistant for your project manager, right? Let's
uh-huh.
say the secretary come and say that project manager is stealing money. There must be a whistleblower protection that person will not be fired for coming and sharing this information. Or let's say the secretary would say, "Hey, you know what? The program coordinator, they be having little kids running in and out the place, right? So they
Mhm.
need to be protected if they need to tell you something."
Bring it to you and I tell, yeah, somebody else. Okay.
Yes. Now this is important. Exempt versus non-exempt employees. Why does it matter? Well, your misclassification as to what type of employee it is, exempt versus non-exempt, could bring into play costly mistake. Cause you to pay back payment of overtime, penalties and fines, and legal exposure. Let me ask you a question before we proceed. Do you know the difference between an exempt and a non-exempt employee?
Nonprofit is exempt, right? I'm thinking.
Huh?
Child, I don't know the difference. What is it?
Okay, let's go into it. Okay, exempt employees. Exempt employees, exempt, okay, we're going to talk about exempt employees. Exempt employees are
Who
salary
is
based.
exempt overtime?
Hmm?
Hmm. Okay, go ahead.
So they salary based. They got a fixed, predetermined salary. The salary level is at least 648. And some example is executive, administrative, and professional. The category is executive, administrative, and professional. This is what we call exempt employees. Let's talk about non-exempt employees. Non-exempt employees, you have to pay overtime to. Your exempt employees, that is your executive team, administrative team, they get one fixed salary. That's it. I don't care if
Yeah,
they
that's
work
fixed.
90
That's
hours
fine.
a week. It's only one salary.
The fixed.
On the
Yeah.
other hand, your non-exempt employees, you have to pay
They pay
overtime.
hourly. Hourly
Yes,
versus okay.
yes, exactly. You're getting it. So if they
Time and a
work
half.
overtime, that means over 40 hours, they
So that's
must get 1.5 of regular pay.
and it's salary versus non-salary. Yeah. Some people get
Yes,
salary, and it's the same thing as salary and hourly, right?
yes.
Okay, yeah.
Like your janitor, for example. Let's say you got, and you're going to have a janitor, but your
Who's not gonna
janitor
have
will
a
be a
I know that she
non-exempt.
has a center. She don't have a janitor. Everybody clean up their room before they go. Take out the trash and
Well,
child.
think big. That's in case you get a janitor.
That's when we
Think in
start.
the future.
Yeah. I've been making
Okay.
janitors money.
Yeah, always think in the future. Not right now where you at. Think about tomorrow. Think big and you'll plan big and you will be big. Okay, so this applies to non-exempt employees. Okay, let's talk about common misclassification errors, red flags. So administrative assistant, program or coordinator without staff supervision, directors who don't supervise, and anyone under the salary threshold must be considered to be a non-exempt employee. The three areas, the three R's for, and this is when you got when you're thinking about doing volunteers. And the three R's is recruitment. How do you plan to recruit those volunteers? Retention. How do you plan to retain those volunteers? Why control matters? Protecting your organization. You don't want anybody, you want to prevent anybody from committing fraud or any embezzlement when it comes to your organization. You want to be able to detect any errors that come into play quickly. That's why you have those board meetings. And you have the treasurer making sure the monies are right and nobody playing games. Then you have to protect your assets. You have to ensure that everything is correct in your reporting and you meet all of the funders' requirements. 4 pillars. This is so very important when it comes to money and the 4 pillars of internal control. First is what's known as segregation of duties. No single person controls all aspects of a transaction. Normally, it's required that two members sign up on the check. Now, for you, when you who on your for-profit, how many people sign up on the check?
But at least two, right?
Yes, you should have at least two.
So you're saying the
And
for-profit, at least two people should sign up on the check.
that's the nonprofit should have at least two.
But the for-profit need people to sign up on the check too?
Well, for-profit just do that. That's the beauty of a for-profit.
Huh? Say it again.
That's the beauty of a for-profit. You can just have one person sign up
Yeah.
on the check.
But it's best to have two in case one person is unavailable, then you can have a
Yeah, it
second.
is best to have two to make sure nobody. If you only got one person, let's say that person is deceitful, they write out all kind of checks. You would never know. There's only one person to sign up on those checks. If you got two people signing up, you got double protection. Okay, and this goes to talk about why it's important. Again, it deals with making sure you're able to detect any errors quickly. Now, proper authorization. It should be clearly authorized levels and approval. For example, your project manager that's going to run the nonprofit. You might give them authority to sign off on anything that's $500 or less.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that's 1,000 or more, they have to come and get approval for that $1,000 or more. Okay. When we talk segregation of duties, persons operate mail equals person depositing the mail. Should not be. Person approving the payment should not be a person signing the check. Person signing the check, the person should reconcile that with a bank account, and the person preparing for payroll, well, the person should be approving all payroll. You should be that person that signed up on all that stuff related to your employees and your nonprofit. Now, with smaller organizations, you don't have to adhere to the other things we talked about. Small organization, your board treasurer should review all bank statements to make sure everything is okay. 2 signatures on large checks. And then you should have external
What's
bookkeeping,
considered
and you should
large?
do hmm?
What is considered large?
Well, large is probably anything over $1,000.
Okay.
Yeah, anything over $1,000. Some organization they give leeway to their employees and they say, look, anything over 5,000. Me, no. No, no, no. Anything over 1,000, I want to know about it. And again, it's so important that you have both internal and external audits throughout the nonprofit life. Okay, now here we go. When they break down authorization level, for example, anything under $500, the program director can sign off on. Anything that is 500 to 2,500, then the executive director can sign off on it, or the CEO. Anything that's 2,500 to 10,000, then the ED, like yourself, and the board treasurer must approve. Anything over 10,000, the whole board must approve. Contracts over 20,000, 5,000, the board must approve. Okay, let's go back to the two signature. Two signature checks should be required. Document approved and budget verification. Okay, accounting systems. You should have double entry booking. Your accountant know all about this, but they should know. An audit, financial statement generated, bookkeeping, grant/funding account, and bank
What's
reconciliation.
AP and AR module?
I know that has to deal with different types of funding cycles. But since you're not going to be having that much money, right, for your nonprofit, this doesn't apply.
How you know I'm not gonna have that much money? I have one thing costs 50,000. Well, not that much.
Well, in that
50,000,
case, yeah,
50,000, 30,000. I need fencing around the property. I
yeah,
need kitchens. I mean, to start up, I'm gonna need help because the money I'm
yeah,
borrowing from the bank is really to do the building. That's my side, but everything going is nonprofit. Everything going in the building, I need a grant
okay,
in that. I want to do the building myself.
yes, yes,
Everything around the building, in the building, fire extinguisher, and then that's
good.
so.
Now, the board should be working with you and to put together an annual budget. And the budget should say about spending authorization, early problem detection, resource allocation guide, and financial planning demonstration. What's the process? Well, the process includes staff developers, finance committee review, board approval before the fiscal year, and monthly monitoring. Every year, the board, you should, as the CEO, present to the board the annual budget, and then your board signs off on that annual budget.
Let me ask you.
Independent,
Let me ask you this. So one fact, because for instance, I'm gonna have different entity. Because right now I have private, and then I have early Head Start, which is a grant. So the person's not maybe qualified for early Head Start, and they have the, or maybe they're private, or maybe sometimes it's just $1 or $2, and they're at different threshold. Can they receive 2 grants? Can I write a grant and say I'm going to help maybe 20% of the people? I mean, they can't. They're paying. Maybe they receive school readiness, but they can pay. For instance, the fee is 300. School readiness pay half of it. Can I get a grant to kind of help them along the way? Because I usually give
you sure
scholarships.
can.
Can I do
Yeah,
that? Can they get 2 different scholarships?
yeah, you
So if
sure
I say
can.
30%, if it's 80 children, I said 20% I'm going to help with da da da. So we can do the budget for the year for that 20% with school readiness, and so I can do that, right?
Yes,
Okay. And then if we don't meet 20% for the year, we might, of course, I'm going to stop. I can say, we have reached our capacity for the year and
right.
the 20%. And so what if we don't reach that 20%? What do I do with that money? Because I have to get rid of it for the year. What do I do?
Now give me an example.
Okay. So my capacity is 80 students, right? And from the 80 students, I'm going to help 20% with financial need. For instance, the regular fee is 300, and school readiness I already pay 150. So it's still another 150 needs to be paid. you know, that the parents say, "Oh,
Okay.
Miss Naomi, I can't afford that. I only can afford $100 toward this. Can you give me?" Because I've done it here as a home child care, and I just, just to help parents, and
Right.
and I just say, "Okay, let me give you a scholarship, which is from my
Right.
own money," and I've done that.
Right.
So instead of giving money from my own pocket, I can say, "Well, we do have some money in this scholarship to help 20%. I can give you maybe $50 a week towards this." Because again, the fee is 300. School readiness pay 150, and we still have 150 left. From 150, they say I can only pay 100, so it's still at $50 a week still. And they say I can't pay 150 a week, Miss Naomi. I need your service, I need childcare, but I can't pay 150. Can I pay 100? But it's still, you understand, for everything to be equal, we still need that $50.
Right. I'm going to say yes, but let me put a punch on that. Let me research that question.
Yeah,
But
because I've
just
been doing
off
it
the back,
here.
I'm going to say yes,
I've been
but I
doing it
want to
here to
research
help
it.
families, but I've been hidden. But when you go out there and start working and got to pay employees and stuff, I can't.
Mm,
I'm not going to be able to do that.
right. Let me recheck that question.
But
Let
because it's
me
going to be from two
research it.
different grants. The school readiness is like the federal money, and then another the private grant. So can they receive two grants?
Yeah, you can have. Yeah, you can do that as long as you're not double paying. You
Double
see,
paying? What do you mean?
you're double paying. Let's say it's $100 for the scholarship, and then you ask somebody else go in for $100. Now you can do if if the amount is $50 that the person can pay, but they don't have the other 50, so the other 50 can come from a grant.
Yeah, they're gonna pay at least in the past I've had them pay at
Yeah,
least 100 a week. And then the
right.
grant, I suck up the other $150. Then again, and again, I did that because I'm home by myself and I suck it up. But out there when I have to pay employees and every cent count, I won't be able to do it with the center. So that's why,
Exactly.
I need somewhere to kind of have, and again, it's like a 20% I'm gonna help. I'm
Gotcha.
going to help 20%. And if they say that it's a need, I need the service, but I'm a single mother. I can't afford, this 150 a week. Can you help me out a little? And I'm going to help 20%, not everyone. So then we're
I
going to
don't see a
designate
problem.
that before we get started. We're
Yeah, I
going
don't
to,
see a problem, but I'll double check and get back with you on that.
okay.
Audit. You should have an independent audit. And where do you get the money for the audit?
Writing grant.
Writing the grant.
So we need to look
Exactly.
down everything we need for the year. We need money for audit. We need for the volunteer
Yes.
assistant. So I need to have a list of all those
Yeah, all that should
aspects.
be part of your annual budget.
Okay.
Yeah. Everything you need to pay money for should be part of that annual budget.
So
But you all
let me ask you this. So how much money can be, because I know with our school readiness, that I work for, and if they have money that, for instance, the fiscal year was at the end of June and they kind of give away money, they kind of give, say, stipend for different things because they have money left over because they have to start afresh July 1st. How much money can I have left? How much money can I have left over in the pocket? Or do I have to, even though it's there, I have to kind of say this designated for this, designated for that, How much can I have left over at the end of the year? Can I have any?
well, and you talking about for your for profit or your non-profit?
Oh, no, no, no. No, no, no. For my nonprofit. No, my for profit, I gotta have money and for no.
Yeah, well, for your non-profit, technically, you shouldn't have that much left over
Like,
because you're writing the grant and you saying I need this, and if at the end of the year you got 20% left over, the first thing the funder is going to say, well, hold on, 20% left over, but you say you needed 100%. So yeah, you want to try to have at least money left over as possible.
and if I do happen to have some money left over, I need to, what do I do with that?
Well, there are circumstances that might happen. Let's say, for example, you your program director um quits, okay,
Yeah.
in 8 month in month 9,
Yeah.
okay. Well, you're gonna have money left over because the person supposed to be paid for a year, so it might be 15. That money can be carried over to the next year,
Yeah.
but it's
And then if
much
I put in,
possible
yeah.
as much possible, you want to try to use everything to the budget. That should not be that much left over. You
Okay.
just
All
have to
right.
justify if it is. Let's say, for example, you put in a budget for 9 computers, and those 9 computers are supposed to be 9,000, right?
Yeah.
Yet you put them on sale for 3,000. Well, it's gonna be 6,000 that's gonna be left over. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that can be justified. And you can take that over, or you can take that 6,000 and left over and put it back into something else and make sure it's spent by the end of the year.
Oh, spend by the end of the year. Okay.
Yes. You would always want to try to spend all that money to the extent possible.
Okay. And when do
Okay.
you apply for the following year? When do you, because you don't wait till the end, when do you and
No, you don't. You start in you start in November.
and how
If
do
the
you know these
fiscal year
funders
ends
are?
in December, you start going for grants in November for the next fiscal year.
And so they have so many days to tell you, "Oh, we're not going with you this year. We found in that somebody else we're going to support or whatever, whatever." And then it's time for me to start searching for somebody else to
You're
fund these.
always searching for someone else, just in case. You always, because
So
if one didn't
I'm
give you money
searching.
this year,
Okay, I need 500,000, right? And I'm searching so and so and so, and the same one are giving me, and I'll get the 500. Just say no, hold it for next year, and I'm getting over what I need. So just tell them to hold it for the following year, or what do I do?
well, you can expand your staff to increase your expenditures.
Or just spend it. Okay.
Yes, you can increase your staff to expand your expenditures. So yeah.
Um, okay, you saying look out for others because if I'm already have, I need 500,000 for the year, and if the one that I went with last year, all of them are ready to go back and give the same amount, so I'm going to reach. But in the meantime, I reach out to Tom, Dick, and Harry, and they decide to contribute
Exactly.
as well.
Just in case. You always want to have those backup plans.
So just find somewhere in the business to use it.
Yes.
And don't give it back. Don't ever give it back. You look bad if you give it back.
Give nothing. That's the worst thing you can do is give money back, right?
And waste
They
it.
talk
Okay.
about you like a dog. And that's crazy. They should be happy, right? But no, they're talking about you like a dog. This person don't know what they're doing. They ask for this,
I
and
don't
yet
know.
they don't spend it.
I just don't want to have no lot of money left over, and then so we can. And okay, I can give
Trust me, you're gonna always be have you're gonna
something.
you're gonna always have monies. You're gonna always be able to use that money for something.
Just find
Trust
somewhere
me.
to use it, somewhere
Give
worthwhile.
no money back.
Oh,
Even if it means that, oh, what? You know what? I'm gonna give all my staff a bonus,
okay,
$5,000 bonus, just to be able to use all this money up.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, but you don't want to give no,
And that's
and
what I
that's
was thinking.
crazy, isn't it? But yeah, you
Okay,
don't want to give any money back.
okay,
Okay.
okay,
Here,
Michael. Oh my goodness, 2. We've been 2 hours.
oh, I'm
Gee.
sorry.
No, wait a minute. How long is this? We came over at
Okay,
1. Oh man.
okay. I think we might have. Whew, I don't know how long we have to go, right?
So we're not
But
doing
what we
everything in
can
one.
do, we can. Let's stop here because I do have more information. Let's stop here.
Yes. Where is my
Let you
homework? That's a
digest
lot of
this.
homework for one week. Jesus
I
Christ.
know. Look, be
In my,
careful what you ask for, because my students be telling me. They say I feel like a professor when I finish your class.
jeez,
I
well,
said
I
I'm
want to
getting
be
what
like
you
a
pay
because
for, right?
it's a lot of information for me to digest. I'm like, I need to take it down and little by little and kind of know understand everything. Jesus.
Okay,
Okay.
let's stop here and let's talk about the 5 core questions. No, we don't even want to. Let's stop right here. Because we're going to stop right here. And then I'll send you over everything. And then for the next class, we can finish up with the rest
But
of
don't I
the
have
class.
homework to do in the meantime? You're going to tell
Not
me
for
what,
this one. You're going to have, for every class other than this one. When we get into program design, program development, you're going to have questions. But for
oh,
this one, it's not going to be any test for this
so it's no homework right now.
one. No, no homework. No homework. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to send you this video. Let me cut the video now.
It is a
Hold on
lot
one
to
second.
understand. Lord of mercy.
I'll be teaching so much. I could go on for 5 years, for 5 hours and wouldn't know.
That's very
You
good,
know, it
though.
might. It's 5 hours. But I'll be like, oh, okay.
I have the SWOT analysis and the weakness and all this in my business plan. Okay. So most of
Oh
these,
yeah, but
yeah. Oh, okay. Jesus, this is a lot. I ain't gonna take me a
so
nap.
now for every class, I'm going to ask at the end. Oh, I should have gone there. Let me go. Oh man, I'm going beyond. Yeah, let me go back there because I don't want you to see the rest of the class information to next week. So, 2 questions I'm going to ask for every class. Give me 2 things that you learned today.
Oh my
2 things.
goodness. Um, Two things that I learned today. You didn't give me a worksheet, but anyway, oh my goodness. I learned that I am the CEO of the board
Right?
and that the members should believe in the cause of the organization and they should contribute towards it.
Exactly. Cool. Every meeting, every class, I'm always going to ask at the end, give me 2 things that you remember from the class. So you did excellent. So I'll send this over to you. I'll see you again next Friday.
And then you said there's no homework, but I need to look it over. Oh Lord, and kind of
No homework for this class.
okay, Michael.
Any question before we sign off?
Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot. But I'm in it. I'm in it to
It's
win
a
it.
lot, but it's worth your money though, right? This is what you paid for, right?
Yeah, and you say I can't write any grant. I can't get into because I would love to start with writing a grant for well, I have to have it for about a year before I can write a grant, right?
What was that?
You see, I have to have my 501(c)(3) and all that. Have it for about a year. A year from when I
No,
have my
you don't.
EIN number.
You don't. That's why we're gonna be working on that first grant. The first grant is going to be anywhere from 5 to 10,000 in that neighborhood, and that first grant is going to be for computers. If you need a website, your letterhead, stuff like that for capacity building.
I already have a website. Okay.
But you don't have a website for your nonprofit though. Keep in mind you got to have separate website.
Oh,
You want to have
oh, a
everything separate
computer
from
and
your for profit.
oh, so that's a step in that they ask you, have you ever had received money for your and so on? That's a yes. Okay.
There you go. Any
Um,
question before we sign off?
no, Michael, no, not right now. Just send me those, and I'm gonna send you the
The
bylaws and
vision. Yeah,
everything. Oh,
good.
and so our next meeting is
Excellent.
next Friday.
Next Friday.
That's at 7. Okay. Okay, Michael.
Okay, you did great today. You managed. A lot of people, look, my first class with a lot of people after 30 minutes, they said, look, can we
What?
do this again next week? I said, look,
Why?
I can take my time. I can, I can spoon feed you, or I can give it to you, whatever way you want to take it.
Oh my
Right?
goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, just send me the video. I need to take my time and just go back over everything and
Take
kind
your time,
of.
and
Okay.
I'll talk to you next week. Have a good one.
And let me say, okay, thanks again.